Beginning, the battlefield where it started. War has a smell. Most people think it's smoke or burning metal. They're wrong. It's ionized air, ruptured coolant, scorched soil, and something metallic that sticks to the back of your throat and refuses to leave. It smells like endings. The day I saved her life, the sky was violet. Planet designation, Kefra 9, a mining world orbiting a bloated orange star at the edge of contested territory. Officially, humanity wasn't supposed to be there. Unofficially, we were everywhere we weren't supposed to be. The Kefran conflict had begun as a border skirmish between human colonial forces and the Tyrillian Dominion, an advanced alien empire known for bioorganic starships and ruthless expansion. They were taller than us, with elongated limbs, pale opalescent skin, and bioluminescent veins that pulsed faintly beneath the surface. Their eyes were silver, reflective, unreadable. We called them ghosts. I was a combat medic attached to the 7th Expeditionary Battalion. My job wasn't to win wars. It was to keep soldiers breathing long enough to go home. We had landed at dawn. By midday, the sky was on fire. Tyrillian drop vessels split the clouds open like wounds, releasing waves of infantry wrapped in living armor that flexed and rippled as if breathing. Their weapons fired concentrated plasma arcs that turned sand into glass. We were losing. By 1600 hours, our left flank collapsed. Communications fractured. Command ordered retreat. That was when I saw her. She wasn't like the others. While most Tyrillian soldiers moved with disciplined coordination, she fought with something closer to fury. Her armor was darker, deep violet instead of pearl white, and etched with intricate sigils that glowed faintly. She wielded a blade of condensed energy that hummed like an angry star. She cut through our defensive line as if gravity favored her. And then a human artillery shell struck. The explosion swallowed her whole. When the dust cleared, she lay crumpled at the base of a shattered rock formation. Smoke rolled from her armor. Her bioluminescent veins flickered erratically. I don't know why I ran toward her. Maybe it was instinct. Maybe it was insanity. Maybe I was tired of watching things die. Bullets screamed overhead. My squad shouted for me to fall back. But I reached her first. Up close, she looked younger than I expected. Her features were sharp but delicate. Silver eyes, half-lidded, struggling to focus. She tried to lift her weapon. I raised my hands. "I'm not here to kill you," I said, though I doubted she understood my language. Blood, if it could be called that, leaked from a fracture in her armor. It glowed faint blue. Her breathing was shallow. Combat medic training overrides politics. Overrides fear. I scanned her with my field diagnostic tool. Internal ruptures. Neural overload. If left untreated, she would be dead in minutes. And yet she was the enemy. If she survived, she'd go back to killing my people. If she died, maybe we'd have a chance. She looked at me again. Not with hatred, with confusion, and something else. I don't know why I did it, but I sealed her wound. The choice. Her physiology was alien, but not incomprehensible. She had a circulatory system, energy-based, but still flowing. My medkit wasn't designed for Tyrillians, yet Nanit sealant could adapt to foreign tissue. She hissed when I applied it. Not in aggression. Pain. "I know," I muttered. "Trust me." Trust. The word felt absurd between enemies. Our line broke entirely moments later. Human soldiers retreated toward extraction shuttles. Tyrillian reinforcements descended from above. I should have left her. Instead, I dragged her behind a ridge and activated an emergency beacon, not for my side, but on a neutral frequency. A risk. If Tyrillians found her first, they might assume I had attacked her. If humans found us, they might shoot her regardless of what I'd done. Her eyes fluttered. She reached weakly toward me. Her fingers brushed my wrist. A pulse of something. Heat? Energy ran through my arm. For a split second, I saw something that wasn't Kefra 9. A palace of crystalline spires beneath twin moons. A throne room drenched in silver light. And her, standing tall, armored in royal violet, crowned in radiant circuitry. Then it was gone. Her hand fell limp. Tyrillian retrieval drones arrived first. They hovered over us, scanning. Their weapons pivoted. I slowly stepped back, hands raised. One drone extended a filament and lifted her carefully. Before they departed, one paused in front of me. It projected a symbol in the air, a spiraling sigil identical to those etched on her armor. Then they vanished into the sky. Hours later, I was evacuated with the remaining survivors. Kefra 9 fell within 3 days, and the war continued. The years between. Humanity eventually signed an uneasy armistice with the Tyrillian Dominion. Neither side won. Both lost too much. I left active service 2 years later. I told myself I was tired of war. Truthfully, I was tired of remembering her eyes. Life returned to something resembling normal. I worked in a civilian trauma center on Mars Colony Theta. Married briefly. Divorced quietly. Grew older. The galaxy shifted around us. Rumors began circulating in diplomatic channels. The Tyrillian High Sovereign had died. Succession conflict erupted, and from the chaos emerged a new ruler. Queen Erythval. Young, strategic, unpredictable. Unlike her predecessors, she halted expansionist campaigns, opened limited trade routes, requested dialogue with former enemies, including humanity. No one knew why, until the day her flagship appeared above Mars. Middle. Do you remember me, human? The ship eclipsed half the horizon. It wasn't metallic like ours. It resembled a living organism, curved, iridescent, pulsing faintly with internal light. Tendrils extended from its hull, stabilizing it in orbit. Global defense systems went on high alert, but no weapons fired. Instead, a single transmission was sent. A request, not to our president, not to our military command. To me. I was in the middle of a surgery when the message arrived. By the time I scrubbed out, half a dozen security officials waited outside the operating theater. You have a history with the Tyrillians, one said carefully. I was a medic, I replied. She specifically requested you. Who? The Queen. I felt cold. They escorted me to a diplomatic chamber overlooking the Martian plains. Red dust storms spiraled beyond the transparent alloy dome. A shimmer filled the center of the room. Tyrillian teleportation technology was advanced, biological matter conversion at quantum precision. The light faded, and she stood there, taller than I remembered, regal, draped in flowing violet fabric interwoven with luminous threads. A circlet of living metal rested upon her brow. But her eyes, I would have known them anywhere. Silver, steady, focused on me. The room emptied at her request. We stood alone. She studied me for a long moment. Then she spoke, in flawless human English. Do you remember me, human? My throat felt dry. Yes. A faint curve touched her lips. Not quite a smile. Something subtler. Years ago, she continued, on Kefra 9, you chose not to let me die. You were injured, I said. I was a medic. You were my enemy. You were alive. Silence stretched between us. I am Erythval, she said formally, Queen of the Tyrillian Dominion. I know. And you are still the one who defied war to preserve life. I didn't think you'd survive, I admitted. I almost did not. She stepped closer. Your intervention altered more than my survival, she said. It altered my path. The revelation. After the retrieval drones returned her to Tyrillian command, she learned something unexpected. The reigning sovereign, her uncle, had orchestrated the Kefran campaign against the advice of the High Council. It was a power consolidation move, not a strategic necessity. Thousands died for his ambition. As she recovered, she investigated, and what she found fractured her loyalty. You risked your life for an enemy, she said. No Tyrillian would have done the same. Maybe that's a problem, I replied. She tilted her head slightly. Explain. If mercy only exists on one side, the war never ends. She absorbed that in silence. When I ascended the throne, she continued, many expected I would avenge Kefra 9, expand our borders further. But you didn't. No, because of me. I asked, because of what you represented. That startled me. I was just one soldier. You were proof that our understanding of humanity was incomplete. She turned toward the window, observing Mars. We believed your species weak, divided, easily conquered. Yet one of you chose compassion under fire. She faced me again. I wish to build something different. An alliance. Yes. With us? With you? I almost laughed. I'm not in charge of oath. I am aware, she said dryly, but I do not trust politicians. I trust actions. And you trust mine. I remember your hands, she said quietly. They did not tremble. I didn't tell her they had. The threat in the shadows. Peace rarely comes without resistance. Within weeks of her visit, factions inside both governments protested. Human hardliners called her appearance a strategic manipulation. Tyrillian traditionalists accused her of weakness. Then the attack began. First, a sabotage incident at a joint research station near Jupiter. Experimental energy-sharing technology destroyed. Then an assassination attempt on her. Her flagship was struck by a concealed kinetic strike launch from within Tyrillian territory. Internal rebellion. She survived. Barely. This time, she summoned me not as a diplomat, but as a physician. I boarded her flagship under heavy guard. Inside, the ship felt alive. Walls pulsed softly. Corridors curved organically. She lay in a regeneration chamber, bioluminescence dim. Her chief medical officer explained that the weapon used was designed to disrupt their neural lattice, a uniquely Tyrillian vulnerability. Can you stabilize her? The officer asked me. I'm human. I replied, your biology. You have treated her before. I approached the chamber. Her eyes opened weakly. Human, she whispered. I'm here. You see? She murmured faintly to her officer. He returns. Her vital readings fluctuated dangerously. I studied the disruption pattern. The weapon had scrambled her neural frequencies. It was less physical damage, more interference. Your systems are trying to reset her baseline, I said slowly, but they are amplifying the disruption. The officer stared at me. Clarify. Lower the regeneration intensity. Let her body re-establish its own rhythm. Risky, but they complied. Minutes stretched. Then her bioluminescence stabilized. The room exhaled collectively. When she was moved to a recovery suite, she dismissed everyone but me. You are becoming inconveniently essential, she said weakly. I charge high consultation fees, I replied. A faint, genuine smile this time. Then her expression darkened. They will not stop, she said. Those who fear change. Neither will we, I answered. She studied me. You speak as if you are part of this struggle. I guess I am. The choice again. Evidence soon revealed the rebellion's leader, General Keovorth, a decorated Tyrillian war hero who believed peace equaled extinction. He mobilized a rogue fleet. His target? Earth. A final strike to reignite war. Eris stood in her command chamber. Projections displayed the approaching armada. If I intercept them, she said, it will be civil war. If you don't, I replied, it will be genocide. She closed her eyes briefly. When you saved me, she said, you altered my destiny. You altered your own, I corrected. She opened her eyes. Still, prepare my flagship. The ensuing battle was unlike Kefra 9. This time, she fought not for conquest, but protection. Her fleet intercepted Vortha's armada halfway between Mars and the asteroid belt. Energy beams lanced through space. Organic hulls ruptured. Debris scattered like metallic rain. She confronted Vorth directly, ship to ship. A broadcast opened between them. You betray our heritage, Vorth spat. I redefine it, she replied. You were softened by human. I was strengthened by perspective. Their ships collided in a final exchange. In the end, Aerith disabled his command core. She could have annihilated him. Instead, she ordered his capture. The rebellion fractured without leadership. Earth remained intact. Ending. A debt repaid. Months later, a treaty was signed. Not submission. Not surrender. Alliance. Joint research initiatives. Cultural exchanges. Shared defense protocols. Suspicion lingered, but so did possibility. On the day the treaty was ratified, she stood beside me on the balcony of the Martian diplomatic complex. You have repaid your debt, I said. She looked at me curiously. Debt? You saved my planet. She shook her head slightly. No, human. I saved my own future. The Martian sun dipped low, casting long shadows. Do you ever regret it? I asked. Kefra 9. She was silent for a while. Yes, she said finally. Regret is the cost of growth. And if I hadn't saved you. She met my gaze. Then someone else would stand where I stand now. I raised an eyebrow. Perhaps, she conceded softly, but I am glad it was you. Years ago, on a battlefield beneath a violet sky, I chose to save a dying enemy. I thought it was a small act, a medic doing his job. I didn't know I was changing the course of 2 civilizations. As her flagship prepared to depart orbit, she turned to me one last time. Do you remember me, human? I smiled. Always. She inclined her head, a queen acknowledging not a subject, not an enemy, but an equal. And as a living ship rose into the stars, I realized something extraordinary. War begins with fear. Peace begins with a single choice. Years ago, I saved the alien queen. Now she remembers. And because she remembers, the galaxy is different.